Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and today we're going to talk about LDU versus sliders. Now, if you watch my videos regularly, you'll know that I've done a bunch of videos on Lego Draw Units, or LDUs. And I have been getting a lot of comments on the LDU videos that the same exact thing could be accomplished with sliders. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about with sliders, I also posted a video on what I call the trans-slider method, which basically is the ability to take a transparent brick having no stud in the bottom and slide it to any position on a stud. And I have to admit, the comments are well deserved because on the face of it, that looks to be 100% true, but it isn't, and let me explain. Now, in my LDU videos, I showed how we can achieve one LDU using old school neck brackets or goblets to make this plate stick out ever so slightly, one LDU over the front of this brick. And yes, you could take a slider piece and do the exact same thing. In that application, you would be correct. It is the same. And it's my fault because in this application of what I like to call the LDU ruler, yeah, the slider would accomplish all of these sizes. But it's my fault for not mentioning that this demonstration here shows the different increments from 0 LDU all the way to 20 in 1 LDU increments, 20 LDU being the width of one brick. But what I failed to communicate to you guys is that this demonstration was to show different sizes of pieces, not just positions of pieces, which is the main difference between LDU and sliders. Let me show you what I mean. So this slider here is 2 bricks wide, meaning 40 LDU, 20 per brick. This piece here is a brick, a bracket, and a plate, 20 LDU, 4 LDU, and 8 LDU, making a total of 32 LDU. Now you can take these two pieces and position them next to each other and position them in the exact same way. But this will always be 40 LDU. This, I can change the size depending how I build the piece. Now it's also confusing because I said that the smallest unit is 1 LDU, and that's position-wise true. But you really can't make a piece that is 1 LDU wide. You can use odd number LDU pieces to create increments of 1 LDU. In fact, the thinnest LDU piece that I know of in the LEGO system is 2 LDU. 1 LDU is only accomplished by making odd numbers using a 3 LDU bracket or a goblet with a stud. Now you might be saying, okay, fine, the piece is a different width, but it really practically is the same thing. And yes, you can line this up with any of these. I'm sorry I only did a few here. I wasn't going to build a full 20 of these. You get the point. The slider can accomplish any depth that you want. But the difference is you're building a piece as a whole. Let me explain. Let's say I wanted to set this up and I wanted this corner to stick out 12 LDU on each side, which is the width of a plate and a bracket. Well, let's line this up here. There's 12 LDU. I can go over here. I can put another slider. 12 LDU. And there we go. The problem is that's as much as I can build. I can never fill out this corner. In fact, I can't get these pieces any closer than they already are because they're going to start to run into each other and obstruct each other's position. So I can build one wall at 12 LDU, but I can't build a corner. I certainly can't build a whole square that way, so I'm kind of stuck. The other problem with building this way is we now created an irrational number. If we go back to our LDU ruler, any one of these studs on top here can easily, with a plate, be reattached back to the standard grid. Now the exception being the jumper plates, because as we know with jumpers, if you use a jumper in, you got a jumper out. So every jumper has an equal and opposite jumper to get it back to the grid, but it still works. You just need to use another jumper to get it back to the standard Lego grid. When you're using sliders, they're completely irrational sizes. Now, yes, you could put a tile on top of this and have something stick on top of it, just holding it down, but not actually attaching. But this piece is not going to attach to the standard grid because you've created irrational numbers by sliding these, as opposed to building outward from a fixed position on the grid. And if we look at our corner again here, let's say we try to build this in LDU. Well, we can take a base and we could build like this. We can use a bracket sideways attached to this, attached to the base, and we can have this stick out 12 LDU on this side, 12 LDU on this side, and we could create a perfect corner with it 12 LDU from the standard grid in both directions. If you watch my videos, you will have seen I also worked on my Obelisk 1.0 version, which used sections like this. This is actually a section from that obelisk. And if you look at this, this uses the exact same method here. You've got additional 12 LDU on top of the 6 bricks in width. So you can build in around here and use those brackets to give you that extra spacing as well as that plate to give you what you need. You could not build this with sliders. The corners would not line up, would not be possible. At least I don't know how to do it. So I hope you guys understand the difference. The LDU is a building unit to give you exact measurements of different pieces. This here was simply a demonstration to show how big those units are, but ideally this should be used to making different width pieces, not just different positions of pieces. So they do share some similarities, but it is important, even with knowing the sliding method, it is important to have a good understanding of how LDU works if you're trying to build with more and more detail. Well, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do more just like this in the future, and we will see you next time.